In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
If it's Tuesday, it must be Doors Night here on Concha at night. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. The great Val Kilmer, late great Val Kilmer. This movie was on last night. Kilmer plays Jim Morrison. And when I say it's the best portrayal of any artist in cinematic history, I don't even think it's close. I think Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash was very good. And this Michael Jackson film, which I have not seen yet, I heard that's very good as well, but I can't comment on that since I haven't seen it. And then obviously the other one I'm thinking of is Queen and Freddie Mercury. The guy's name's always complicated, but he's a good actor, and he was excellent as Mercury, but not like Val Kilmer is Jim Morrison. He's more Jim Morrison than Jim Morrison was. I mean, and he looks just like him, too. I mean, just perfect casting. I believe that was 1991 that came out. Meg Ryan in that movie as well. And I don't think Kilmer was nominated for anything or didn't win anything major, which is just, again, the Oscars sometimes gets it very right and sometimes very, very wrong. And that is what happened with Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison. Anyway, enough about the Doors. Let's move on to, there's only one way to describe Hakeem Jeffries, and that is as a profound scumbag. Yep, I'm thinking 2 words, putting them together. Profound and scumbag are the only 2 that come to mind. It's unbelievable that this guy said, again, he's the leader of Democrats in the House of Representatives. All right, so he's not just some no-name congressman from somewhere. He probably will be Speaker of the House after the midterm elections. I think Democrats will take it back. I don't think it's going to be a blue wave, but they only need to win, flip 4 seats. Not hard. History says they should be able to do it. But anyway, here's Hakeem Jeffries. Last week, he said that Democrats have to engage in maximum warfare against Trump and his administration. Maximum warfare. Intentional, using those sort of words, right? Again, Trump, until this weekend, was already nearly assassinated twice. So why you would go back to rhetoric like that? Well, there's only one reason for it. Anyway, when asked about this, Hakeem Jeffries, by a reporter saying, hey, don't you think it's time to tone things down? Do you regret the things that you said specifically around maximum warfare? And nope, Hakeem just went right through that red light, and he's embracing it with a bear hug. Cut number 1, go.
As it relates to anything that has been said, certainly as it relates to the comment related to maximum warfare everywhere, all the time, in connection with the redistricting battle that Republicans launched. I stand by it. You can continue to criticize me for it. I don't give a damn about your criticism.
I don't give a damn about your criticism. Republicans started redistricting. That's weird. Because in California, they've been doing it for years. New York as well. Illinois, you ever see that map sometime? So I guess he's going to just stick by it. And the reason why is that Hakeem Jeffries, despite the fact that, the old saying is the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. And then you see Hakeem Jeffries' picture next to that as far as stupidity has no limit. This guy can read. He could read polls. One poll out last year from Rutgers University found that 55% of those who are left or left-leaning, that's the way they describe themselves, in other words, Democrat voters, say that it is somewhat justified if someone murdered President Trump. 55%. Solid majority says, you know what? Murder him. It's okay. Forget beating him at the ballot box, which I guess they did once, maybe, kind of. 81 million votes. Yeah. Barack Obama got 69 million. And Joe Biden, who didn't campaign, got 12 million more. Anyway, that's a story for another time. But the point is that if you can't beat him, I guess kill him. And that's what many Democrat voters feel. And now Hakeem Jeffries is not saying, you know what, maybe we should scale it back. I shouldn't have said that. That was too much. Nope. He is absolutely embracing this because he knows that this is what his base wants to hear and ultimately wants to happen, that Donald Trump is taken out dead. And believe me, this is not the last assassination attempt. I mean, these lax security measures are just unbelievable. That this guy, who was once teacher of the year, again, no military training, can take a rifle, a handgun, all these knives, and then basically hide in a room near the ballroom. No one bothers to check it, just like no one bothered to check the 6th hole at Trump International in West Palm, while a guy was there, Ryan Ruth, for 18 hours in tactical gear, all sorts of guns. 18 hours by the one hole that was known to be a hole with perfect line of sight to the green. Photographers would use it to take pictures of Trump while he was golfing. So it was an open secret. That's where you go if you want to get a clear shot at Trump, whether it be by a camera or whether that be by a rifle. So we see this. We saw it in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thomas Crooks, 19-year-old kid, no military training. Once again, gets on the one building that has line of sight to President Trump in that field that day. 150-yard shot with a scope, 2-foot putt without a break. And by the grace of God, Trump is only hit in the ear and not have his head blown off on national television. And still to this day, we don't know how the kid hit a rifle next to that building, how no one walked, around the building to see, hey, anything hidden here? And no one was on top of that building. Where, again, that's the one building that probably was a weak spot as far as Trump's security was concerned. Oh, by the way, who sent Trump out there that day when they knew there was a threat out there? You contain him. You get him off the grounds, as a matter of fact, until that threat is contained. Instead, they threw him out there anyway. Why? So this keeps happening over and over again. And I just can't believe that's something that's going to stop happening. I guess if you're Trump, the only thing you can do is just avoid. Let's put it this way. If they do the White House Correspondents' Dinner again at the Washington Hilton, why? They have weddings going on there, 1,000 guests, all these moving parts. Don't have it there. Find a convention hall that doesn't have hotel rooms and all these different places where you could hide. And make sure you triple the security. And maybe check every room and closet before this thing goes on. It doesn't have to be at the Washington Hilton because of what? Tradition? Who cares? No one cares about this dinner anymore anyway. And if half the cabinet's going to be there, then you definitely had this anywhere else but at a place where Donald Trump was nearly assassinated and Ronald Reagan was also shot at in 1981. Maybe some bad karma around that particular Hilton. Meanwhile, more of the profound scumbag Hakeem Jeffries. Here he is in cut number 2, going off on Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, who's only 8.5 months pregnant. This is cut number 2. Go.
I think that what's interesting to me, as you pointed out, is that the so-called White House press secretary, who's a disgrace, he's a stone cold liar, had the nerve to stand up there and read talking points being critical of statements all taken out of context that Democrats have made and didn't have a word to say.
Hey, when Dan Goldman, New York congressman, said that Trump needed to be, quote, eliminated, was that out of context? When J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, compared the Trump administration to the Nazi Party, what context are we looking for there? When Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, Kamala Harris's handpicked vice presidential number 2 on her ticket, said that every day he wakes up hoping to see news that Trump is dead. How else should I interpret that exactly? When Hassan Piker says that somebody has to do it in terms of assassinating Trump because it would be for the betterment of the country. Again, there is no ambiguity. All right. This isn't clear as mud kind of moment. They want him dead. They have said this as much, or they'll say things to present him as a pedophile rapist, for example. Mark Ruffalo, the actor, calls him that all the time. Or as a Nazi. And then basically, if you're crazy enough, then you think, if I had the chance to take out baby Hitler, would I do it to save the country? Yeah, there are enough people out there that will interpret these things that way. Meanwhile, there are some people that don't think that this third assassination attempt, or even the first 2, were real. They're actually staged. This is Joy Reid. And you say, Joy Reid, she's a crackpot. She's a crackpot that earned very, very good money on MSNBC while being a primetime host, election night anchor for years. So she was seen, at least internally by that ridiculous network, as somebody who was credible. And now she has, like Jim Acosta does, and Chuck Todd does, and Don Lemon does, not Jonathan Karl, the other guy, Terry Moran, ABC, go down the line, all these people that Katie Couric used to be big deals in the media industry, now doing podcasts from their mansions, from their kitchens. Here's Joy Reid saying that, you know what? I actually think that this White House Correspondents' Dinner attack was really staged by and I love this. I mean, this is the chef's kiss, by the Russians. Yet, cut number 9, go.
Don't ask any questions, even though there's just odd things that keep happening around Trump. And we know that Viktor Orban, allegedly, according to Washington Post reporting, there was a plot by the Russians to stage an assassination, fake assassination for Orban. So all of this throws in together. You're like, when something seems too perfect, people, they don't believe in it. And Donald Trump now again gets victimized by an alleged would-be assassin in front of the perfect witnesses, the press.
So, because the press was there, the Russians helped. I guess the Russians did something with Viktor Orban, and now I guess the inference is that Trump is taking his cues from the Russians to stage an assassination attempt against himself, I guess, to distract from the Epstein files. I mean, that's some really interesting logic there. She's going to need one hell of a chiropractor to untwist that pretzel that she turned herself into to do. She also said, and I won't play it for you because it's almost impossible to listen to, that probably the first 2 assassination attempts on Trump were also staged. Oh, by the way, Trump wanted to stage an assassination attempt against himself with the press present. He's the president. The press follows him wherever he goes. It's not like, hey, there's some reporters here. That never happens when I go somewhere public. Maybe I'll stage this assassination attempt against myself. And I guess Trump wrote the manifesto of the guy who carried it out too, Cole Allen, who donated to Kamala Harris's campaign. Or maybe that was staged also. Maybe all the things that Cole Allen wrote about Trump needing to be tried for high crimes and was a tyrant and a traitor and a fascist. I guess maybe that was orchestrated as well. And then, the Thomas Crooks assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, that was staged so Crooks, or whoever shot Trump, was able to do it with such precision to not hit his head, but just graze his ear. Boy, that is one heck of a shot right there. Hey, look, this is what the show is predicated on. People saying stupid stuff. We play it and react to it. It's a beautiful formula, and it has been working quite well, if the ratings are any indication. Meanwhile, I think Greg Gutfeld really nails it here on Fox on the 5, where he's talking about don't fall for, this guy's crazy, because that's just an excuse. He's a lunatic, didn't know what he was doing. Gutfeld makes the argument that, no, Cole Allen, the shooter here, he's just following orders from the Democratic Party and their allies in the media. This is cut number 17. Go.
I think this is a helpful assassination attempt because it is the first one to show that you can be radicalized by liberal smugness. If you read his posts and if you read his manifesto, it sounds like every smarmy, sanctimonious, self-satisfied pronouncement from an asshole like Brandon Johnson, like Waltz, like Lou, the people who think they know better than you. This guy was not a crank. He was not deranged. Don't buy into that narrative because it lets these pompous asses off. He didn't do this because, as Jesse said, he didn't have voices in his head. He was just following orders. He was operating on a filter that said Trump was Hitler, and therefore it would be immoral if you didn't take Hitler out. So his filter is actually making him logical. He's the sanest one in the group because he took them at their word. When MS now says Trump is Hitler, he's the sensible one. He went out and went after Hitler. Now, if you told him he was wrong, would he listen? No, because you know this guy. You've run into this guy. They think they're right.
Yeah, he thought he could take out Hitler. He's the smart one. Great points. Anyway, it is Doors Night here on Concha at Night. Back with so much more, including James Comey, indicted again.
The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.